Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Phelps, and my co-host, our very good friend, is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. We are covering The Circle Season 4, Episodes 5 through to 8. Now, Chris, bit of a mixed bag, this one. We were really enjoying seeing the Spice Girls in there, but where do you want to start today?
Well, obviously, I'm with you. I found this middle section of this season so far a bit dull. Couple of little high bits. I think it got better as we went towards episode 8. But initially, obviously, I ruined it in the last episode because I pretty much gave away what had happened because idiot here had carried on watching Netflix thinking it was the same episode because it went straight into it. It wasn't. But basically, the Spice Girls left. They had a choice. They went to see Alyssa. Spoke to Alyssa, and they were convinced that she was a catfish, which she wasn't. They were also convinced that Carol was a catfish, which we know he is. You know, he's the son of Carol. And they just alluded to that. Bit of talk about, you know, the sex thing. Mel B absolutely wants some tips off Alyssa, Dave. That was about the only the high bit. But then after that, the consequence of the Spice Girls going and doing a video and everything was everyone apologised to Rachel, because they sort of singled her out, hadn't they, as a bit of a blagger because she didn't know one of the questions for the Spice Girls. She's supposed to be a super fan, and they all realised that they were wrong. So a couple of them were fucking grovelling. That's one thing I do like about this is when you make assumptions, which we all do. Every single person makes assumptions. I do it, you do, we all do it. But then so it's very difficult to take that back that assumption. Even if you know you're wrong, Dave, we all hate saying, sorry, you know, so I do like that about The Circle, but I did find it a bit of a slogging parts these next 4 episodes.
Yeah, I must admit, after the Spice Girls went, I thought there was a massive lull through this season. And I think we've seen this in other Netflix shows, haven't we, where, you know, things like, not so much the first season of Daredevil, but these shows that have like 13 episodes or something, then it's always that mid-season lull where not a lot is happening. I tell you what I think it is, Chris. This batch of contestants are far too social media savvy.
Yes.
They're all, you could see they're all like TikTokers or Instagrammers or something, and they're quite good at playing the game. And so it's fucking boring to watch, quite honestly. Episode 7, I'm thinking, God, I don't know how I'm going to make it through this. This is really, really dull. And then it did start to get a bit more interesting. So when you got the 2 new guys coming in, and then, you know, the whole cyber attack thing, and then them making them choose, you know, who do you want to save kind of thing, really started to get people out. Everyone's playing such a tactical game and keeping their cards close to their chest. It was just really quite dull. I wasn't enjoying it as much as the previous season, but now it's pulled me back in.
Yeah, I agree. I think that a great analysis of it all is the cyber attack brought me back in. It gives us that bit of anticipation that like, oh, what's going to go in here? Who is genuine? But one of the things, just to bring it back slightly, was, Dave, when it came to the 2 popular people, which was Yuling and Alyssa, had to vote somebody out of the circle. And they're chatting away. And I do like the way they do that, as if they're facing each other. The camera works clever. It looks like there's like a bit of plasterboard between them talking, and they're having a chat. When Yuling, who's the most popular, had to go and deliver the thing in person, she absolutely, I don't know whether that's a good strategy, but what a shithouse when she came face to face with Chris today, when she said, it was Alyssa. I love you. And I'm like, you absolute fucking coward. What a shithouse. And she did this for the next couple of episodes. Every time she got caught out, she came back and blamed it on someone else, or was just, I know you've got to do it because you're trying to win. It's a big game thing. But that, for me, that was the one bit in these whole 8 episodes. I was fizzing at the screen going, you absolute shithouse. Great tactics, but also you fucking shithouse. Because Chris is going to see this on the outside, Dave. So I thought, you just look proper snaky to me, to be honest.
Well, I'm going to leave the door open slightly and say maybe what Yuling was talking about was all on the cutting room floor and didn't get shown to us.
Maybe. Yes.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But what it looked like was she was just trying to get herself out of an awkward situation.
Yes.
It was like, yeah, I fucking, I'll pack your bags for you because I didn't trust you. See you later. I don't know if it was a tactical thing or it was just literally an awkwardness thing that she's trying to say anything to get herself out of being the bad guy. Look, they had to choose someone. She's got no loyalty to anyone in there. And it is the game. So I'd have preferred if she'd have gone in and say, oh, I'm sorry and everything, but these are the reasons. But yeah, throwing the other one under the bus. I didn't like that either because I couldn't help but feel like it wasn't a tactical thing. And it was just kind of the type of person she is. She just like doesn't want to be the bad guy ever and just, bullshits basically.
Yes, I agree. I agree with that. And I think as well is, you're right. Look, it's easy for us to say we're observing it and we're like, yeah, I'd do that. I'd be dead up front. But we all know we've been in that situation and fucking shriveled up, haven't we? Like someone's threw salt on a slug or something. We've all gone, it wasn't me, it was him, like that sort of thing, like taking the piss. So we have done that, to be fair. I don't know how I would be, but sometimes when you do watching these shows, people do forget the cameras are on them, don't they? And the real selves. I used to say my big brother, everyone comes in, oh, I love all these people in the diary room. Give it 3 days. They're all see you next Tuesdays. I fucking hate her. I hate him. Everyone's at loggerheads because your real personality comes through. You can't fake being a nice person if you're an absolute wanker. And also in the same respect, if you're going to come in and try and be a bit edgy, but you're actually really nice, it never works. So I think that's the good thing of this. Everyone's just relaxed. And because what I don't like, and I think you're right, the smoothness and the way these people keep coming in. I mean, you had like Trevor came in and Everson. Trevor's the husband of Alyssa who won it last year. She was the winner. His picture was what she used because she was the catfish. And then Everson came in, but they came in so slick and cool and not worried. And I think that's what I think when you sum this up a few times about the shows, and I said it last week, is they're so meta aware of what they're doing and what's expected of them. There's none of that edginess of the show. I think the show's lost some at the Circle. I think I'm going to struggle to watch another series of this, Dave. I'll be honest, because I don't find it that anyone is genuine. Anybody who's been in it. I mean, they've done this before. They did this with the first series where there was the mother and the son. There was the son was in there, and then the next series, the mum coming with the brother, the one we did. It was like they've done it again. They've like brought family in, and then I'm thinking this is a red herring. This is another we're with a talent agency or something. Because it just everyone's so polished, and it's for Netflix. It's not going to be fucking maths, throwing glasses at each other and fucking, going on OnlyFans, as we all know, and stuff like that, and being like that. But because it's a different show. But I think this has gone even further the other way, this series. I don't know why. There's just something missing, I think, at the moment.
There is something missing. There's an ingredient. And I think it is the conflict. You say about people coming in with the bravado and whatever, and then the real selves get shown eventually. I think that is the case with things like Big Brother, with things like Love Island, Maths, because you're in that pressure cooker. You're surrounded by the other people. With the Circle, you've probably got, interaction with some producers, but not the other contestants. The other contestants are just their bios and what they say. So I think it's easier to keep your guard up. But also, I just think from this crop of contestants, they've always got their guard up because they're just too fucking social media savvy. And they've always got their social media game face on. And I think that is what's taking it away. You don't get someone, dropping a clanger. All of the responses seem to be really on point. Very rare that someone, I can't recall someone coming up with something, ridiculous. What I'm hoping for is that, there's suspicions about who's a catfish and whatever, But what I'm hoping for is some sort of challenge that outs people.
Yes.
So last season, remember the guy who's pretending to be a girl, and then there was a makeup challenge, and then everyone was like, "That is a bloke who's done that." But I tell you what, this, and probably because it's so dull, it's not really had me engrossed in the storylines. I'm just thinking about the format of the show. But if someone's a catfish, do you care? So Carol, in inverted commas, everyone's onto her, as being a catfish. So everyone's having these side discussions. Oh, we think Carol's a catfish. Just, she's trying too hard to be the mum of the group and whatever. But does it matter? You're all in there playing a game. If someone's got you back, does it matter if they're playing themselves or if they're playing a catfish?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But they do seem to think if you're a catfish, they seem to think you're immediately untrustworthy. You're all in there for the 100K, which is now 150K. So it's weird. They all know they have to create alliances to stay in there as long as possible, and then straight under the bus you go, sunshine, as soon as it gets down to the final two. So yeah, just find it a bit odd that the whole catfish thing creates this perception of someone being untrustworthy in a game when you're trying to be the sole winner at the end.
Yeah, you know what, Dave? That's a very good point, actually, because I think even watching it, I feel that, the catfish, I do look at them differently. That's not like, you're not real. So I think that's the whole thing. And then when someone wins it, like I said about the guy who won the UK one, and he was so close because he'd pretended to be his girlfriend, and the guy who she got close to was friends. There was nothing, romantic in it. He just stormed off and he fucking went mad, So I think even I look at it as this to say, well, I think the way, a catfish obviously won the last series of the US one, but I think probably that's the whole point. The catfish should win it, Dave. That's how it should be. Do you know what I mean? So it's interesting you say that. I've never thought that, but I do have a bias towards the people who are not catfishes. So, subliminal bias. So you're probably right. And I think talking about, I'll tell you what, it's a good little segue this, but talking about catfishes, the one bit that did make me laugh, I think it was in episode 7, was when Nathan got asked the question about golf. Sorry, but this episode 8, and they had the cyber attack, and it was like, you can ask questions of someone. For a lifelong golf fan, how many under par is an eagle? And he was shitting it, wasn't he?
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a good one.
That was Brew who came up with that question.
Yes.
And when he did it, I was like, well played, sir. Well played. Yeah. That is a fucking brilliant one. Because all they had was access to their photos. Yeah. And, he's picked up on the fact he must only be like, 8, 10 or something in that photograph, but he's on the golf course. What is a birdie? I thought that was a brilliant play. And the guy who is so fucking cocksure of himself, but he's convinced. He's like, I had notes, but I didn't write down what a birdie was. It's like, look, mate, you can't be an encyclopedia. You can't have that many notes, surely. But he got it right, but he definitely wasn't. He wasn't convinced that he was right. And actually, I was a bit disappointed because Brew sort of said, they had a one-to-one chat, didn't they? And then Brew was like, nailed that question or something. So that gave him the relief that he'd actually got it right. Whereas it'd have been nice to see him stew over that for a little bit longer because he doesn't know if he got it right or not.
And that's true, actually, because that would have been a good bone of contention, wouldn't it? Because all the time he'd be like, made a right mistake. But there was look, you're going to let go, what the fuck does this matter, Chris, right, Dave? So you can happily say that. But there was a continuity issue in this episode, and I don't know if you noticed it. So, when Brew spoke to Nathan and spoke to him and said, well played, sir, as you've just said, Nathan's food was burnt on the stove because I looked at it going, fuck me, what's he done to that fucking pie or lasagna or whatever it was? And then about 10 minutes later, we had this little scene where his food was burnt and he went, oh, Nathan's burnt his food. And I'm thinking, well, it was on there a minute ago when he was talking to Brew, little bit of a thingy, Dave, but the continuity wasn't there. And straight away I was like, that would have been 50 quid years ago in the paper. You could send it in and win 50 quid if the continuity was off, but there you go. You can't do that on Netflix. I don't know where you write to.
Not
but anyway,
reality TV.
No. But I think you're right. You alluded to it before. The best bit of these 4 episodes was the cyber attack, without a doubt. We've had the question for Brew to Nathan, but I did like the virus thing when the 2 new guys came in. So, as I said, Everson and Trevor came in. They were immune. They could pick someone, and they picked Frank again. And Brew doesn't like Frank. He thinks he's a fake good guy, doesn't he?
Yeah, but I don't think it was Brew's question about Frank, was it?
No, it wasn't. He thought it was Brew, didn't he?
Yeah, and then Frank sort of said, I thought that was Frank's mistake there. I think everyone sort of loves Frank.
Yeah.
But then in calling Brew out in his response, that probably was one of the only mistakes that I noticed, because it was like, you didn't need to do that. And yet some of the other questions that came out, everyone answered it really diplomatically.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I think that might be a mistake by Frank, but I think he's probably got enough clout with everyone else that, he'll stay in there. But I mean, you got so many people, like the guy who's playing Carol, he thinks he's Bertie Big Bollocks, doesn't he? He thinks he's nailed being the mum, whereas everyone is onto him as a catfish. So I'm pretty sure he's not going to last too much longer. And the guy who's playing Nathan also, he thinks he's the world's greatest strategist.
And that's true, that, because they go with the virus. I did like this, Dave, the virus, because again, Yu Ling got caught out again for fucking. She had an alliance, didn't she, Dave? And she didn't pick him. She picked Rachel. And I was like, she's getting caught out,
wasn't it? That was very strange. She's supposed to. I mean, fucking hell, some of the flirting going on. She's saying to like Brew and Alicia, I'll kiss you on the mouth when I see you, kind of thing. It's like, steady on. Yet she didn't pick any of them, either of them even. I don't know where the Rachel thing came from. I think, again, maybe, Chris, maybe she's just a bit more tactical than I'm giving her credit for there. And she's picked Rachel because it's a safe choice.
Yeah. I think so. Because she said, this is going to fall. And I was laughing to myself going, well, you fuck yourself again now, because they're going to want answers. I do think, so ultimately, we're left on a bit of a cliffhanger. If you can call it a cliffhanger, Dave, it's sort of when, I think it went Frank, Ewing, Rachel, and then it was Frank, Ewing, Rachel, Nathan, and then we were left with Carol and Alyssa to go, but we don't know who. And we're going into episode 9, which is where obviously it's finished. But I did enjoy that. I like the cyber attack. What I would have liked when they were sending anonymous messages, and there was some pretty snipey ones, if all of a sudden the virus unscrambled one of the messages and it was the real person. That's what I wanted.
Thought they were going to do that. I totally thought they were going to do either that, or like say someone's in a one-to-one chat and then suddenly the whole group can see it.
Yes, that's what I wanted. Yeah, that's what I wanted. I genuinely wanted that, Dave. I wanted some.
That's because we're both a couple of See You Next Tuesdays. When you talk about being kind and not putting the contestants through torture and stuff. Can you imagine? That would have been absolutely horrendous. Like one of these conversations, like, oh yeah, Carol's definitely a catfish, and then just show it to the whole group.
Oh, fucking brilliant! That something might happen. That something might.
Oh, that'd be so good. But
brilliant.
Where it could have also done it was like the roast. But I tell you what, Chris, in terms of roasts, I was so uninterested in that. I mean, nothing stood out to me as a good roast in that little section there.
No, it just got a bit snipey, didn't it? There was nothing. Yeah. They've all done that. Whenever it's come to things like that, the questions have been pretty tame, haven't they? They've not wanted to sort of lose that bit of niceness that they've garnered or sort of appeal with other people. It's all about how that's the whole point of the game, innit? They don't know you face to face. They don't know your personality. You're a picture in a text message that keeps coming up until you meet face to face. That's what you are. And that's the concept of it. But I will say, Dave, completely off the off the show. 6th of June, my friend. We are going in. We are.
Do you reckon we'll get the Just Eat the Just Eat lizards back?
Yes, we might get the Just Eat. I want the Just Eat fucking sponsorship for me and you. We fucking get a takeaway every night when we watch it. But yeah,
that'd be great. 6 nights out of 7, Chris.
If you ever wanted to test our friendship, just listen to if we could actually release Man and Dave's text messages here about Love Island when we were trying to record or watch it or anything, it's fucking marvellous.
Oh, God. That is not that long away, is it? Oh,
no, is it? It's 2 weeks, Dave. I think it's 2 weeks Monday. Oh, fuck a doodle do.
Doesn't it normally start on a Sunday?
Yeah, but it's the 6th. Yeah, it's starting on the 6th. Don't forget, it's a longer session, this one, as well. It's a longer series, which is even more depressing.
Which is even better.
If they bring the fire, like the Aussie do and all that, brilliant. But it's been so diluted, Love Island, over the last few years. Like, I could see this bombing completely because I think it's on for too long.
I don't think even the Aussie one was that good last time, was it?
No.
You keep thinking back to that first season, which was awesome.
Amazing, yeah,
but since then, I think it's been a bit average. I don't know. Let's see. I do think like 6 weeks is the sweet spot for Love Island. I think shorter than that. So if it's about 4 weeks, you don't get invested in the relationships. Longer than that, then it's going to drag on and drag on. But we haven't seen for a while a good relationship like be split up, have we?
No,
that last season was pretty tame. So let's hope for some drama, Chris.
Yeah, we need some drama, Dave. We need some in this. We've got about 4 or 5 episodes.
Yeah. So I mean, what are we going to do? So has it all dropped now?
Maybe should have checked that before we recorded, Dave. But I think it has.
Let me just.
I think it has, to be fair. I think because episode 9's on there because it went straight into it. I'm pretty sure it has, to be fair.
Episode 9 and 10, 11 and 12. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all
and there. Then says episode 13, which must be the reunion, available on the 25th of May.
Yeah, that'll be the reunion then. All right, well, that's okay. That's all right.
So should we try and think how to time it now? So should we do 9 to 12 next, and then we'll do the reunion separate, or should we just do the reunion together as well?
No, let's do the reunion separate if we've got thingy. I know that's piling another podcast on us, but what I'm thinking is I'll do a Chris Phelps, Where Are They Now, Dave? The section where you've already read it, and then I tell you the same things you know, and then you know more information than me, but it sounds like I know I'm the roving reporter for the podcast.
Well, okay. I'll stay clear. Chris, I've been too busy engrossed in Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial to be looking at where they are now. Honestly, it's the best reality TV that's on at the minute.
It's true that if you ever wanted to understand what Hollywood is like, there it is, right fucking there. People prepared to spend millions when they're in the wrong, and they're both fucking nuts anyway, Dave. It's ridiculous.
It's not completely one way or the other, but so some of this stuff is pure theatre, to be honest. I've been engrossed, but anyway, yeah. So I think I'll steer clear. I won't look at anything about where they are now or anything, so I'll be genuinely surprised. It was only maths where I couldn't stay off, like Googling every day. Where are they now?
I'm still trying to read articles on that now. So there you go.
Well, Olivia got called out. Was it last week or was it the week before that, where she put something a little bit racy on her Instagram, and everyone was like, well, it's a bit hypocritical, isn't it?
It's not, Dave, because it's on the internet. Anybody can find it on the internet.
Google it.
Just Google it. It's there. All right, Olivia, whatever. Fucking hate that girl. But there you go. Anyway, big thank you as always, guys, for supporting us. Patreon.com/ CD Reality Cast. If you want to follow us on social media at CD Reality Cast, and if you want to email us, cdrealitycast@gmail.com. So today's roll call of honor is Kent Gustafson, Lucky Little Green, Lauren, Susan, Priscilla, Dee Dee, Katie, Helen, Joanna, Noreen, Brianna, Helen, and Keith. So thank you so much, guys, for your support, past and present. We really appreciate it. And like I say, we're going into Love Island. Don't know what we're going to do. I'm pretty sure we're not going to be doing a daily show, but we'll try our best until there's some drama. And then we usually just jump on and do whatever we can, don't we, Dave?
Yeah. So Chris, breaking news. So I couldn't help but just have a little Google there. So Married at First Sight star accuses show of staging OnlyFans controversy. In quotes, I think producers intentionally left it all up as entrapment to create a storyline.
Probably Olivia, that. Is that Olivia?
It's Olivia.
Oh, my God.
So it wasn't her friends now. It was the producers, which, to be fair, I mean, it's not that much of a stretch, but I'm sure the story has changed multiple times. So you've rekindled my obsession.
I'm going to have to read that. And I have to send me that article. What was she called? The girl who did the OnlyFans again? Dominica. Yeah, Dominica, sorry. That should have been about, as soon as you started saying the article on the victim quotes, I was like, oh, don't tell me that's Olivia. It's got to be Olivia. He's not going to be, oh, she's fucking unbelievable. What an unbelievable person she is.
Yeah, deluded. There's another one here that Daniel, remember Daniel, the douchebag?
Remember Daniel, yes.
Instead, Ed. Yep, he's defended Olivia.
Oh, fucking hell. What a surprise. Oh, my God. Oh, get over to Facebook. Well, last thing, Dave. Get over to Facebook, guys. Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast, and join our Facebook group. We're always on there posting all the episodes and chatting and everything. And when Love Island's on, it usually goes crazy. So get over there, guys.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, sir. So next for us is the episodes 9 through to 12. And we'll speak to you next time.
Bye.